Alright guys, so as you can probably tell from the video title, I got L1! Woo! L1! Yay! I am now L1. I am no longer classified as a noob. You know, you can stop bullying me now. I'm now a L1 license owner. And you know, I was trying to record myself getting the L1 license, and I recorded for around 2 hours and I didn't get it. And then as soon as I ended the recording and I just decided to play a little bit, just cause lol, I get it. And I'm like, well, I don't know what I do now. So the footage I will show you in the next little while will be a near completion, and it's basically, I don't know, I'll explain it while I'm playing the footage. But beforehand, I want to show you this epic badge that I got. Oh yeah, L1 veteran. I mean, most of my friends already got it, but that doesn't matter. Also, I'll talk more about my L1 license experience after the clip. Alright, hello, it is voiceover spatula here. Anyways, so I'm doing a voiceover because I literally didn't speak at all over this because I was just grinding it out. But so this was one of my earlier attempts, and I actually did insanely well considering it was one of my first attempts. So as you can see here, I do this basically near perfect, well, in my opinion at least. So I do things pretty well, and I want to reach the tunnel path with at least 1 minute and 3 seconds remaining, and you'll figure out what I mean by that in a second. So I do this pretty well. I mean, that part was a bit messed, but it's fine, and I'm going well here, and then I drift here, and I do a really moist, really nice drift, and then here we go. It's pretty good. Looking pretty good at the moment. And this was one of my failed attempts, by the way, because I didn't record my successful attempts, so lol. Anyways, so as you can see here, I do this part without hitting the wall a single time, which I'm still proud of, and that's how I managed to get to this part so fast. So, as you can see here, I'm incredibly happy that I managed to get there by 1 minute 6, because usually I need to get there by around 1 minute and 3 seconds, but then I fail here because I'm dumb, and I'm so mad, because I can finish it on time if I get a 1 minute and 3 seconds remaining, but I get a 1 minute and 6 seconds remaining, so I was absolutely screaming in happiness, but then I fall into that pit, but then I'm like, wait, I still have time to complete this, and then I smack my head and smack my face there. So this is not a run that's looking too hard, even though at the start it looked like I was doing absolutely amazing. I failed right there, and I was so sad. So I go around here, and I nitro, and then I move in. So at this moment, I'm thinking oh, I mean, I did manage to do incredibly well in the first part, but then I fell into the void, and then I also did a bunch of trash moves. Alright, so here, I did the rest of this map basically perfectly, so I take that, and then I go down, and then, so this part I wasn't too confident with, so I kind of didn't nitro there, but then I took the boost pads, and I look like I'm so close, and then I'm gone. And I could have made it if I hadn't fallen into the void. Anyway, so I just played the clip to you, right? Hopefully. So basically, a lot of people have been asking me, hey, can you tell me how to do L1 or what I need to do to do L1? So to be honest, when I did it today, when I was trying to grind out L1 today, it really wasn't as bad as I remember it to be. I haven't grinded L1 in ages. It's probably been around 2 weeks before I did my last attempt of L1. And when I did my L1 attempt today, it was way easier than expected. So, what I can take away currently is this. So, if you're trying to get L1, I would recommend you... So, first of all, I managed to do the first 4 in, the first, few weeks of me playing. But then the last one, obviously, Cosmic Canyon, is the most difficult. So, most people are like, yeah, well... And they look up 300 YouTube tutorials, and they grind this out 46 hours a day for 3 weeks straight. And I'm like, I suppose you can do that, but why though? Why would you do that? That's just a waste of your time. First of all, the problem with L1 is that you don't actually get any benefits from it. You don't get any rewards, you don't get any XP, it's just a bunch of mindless grinding. And also, even if you do practice it 46 hours a day, you're not going to get it if you just aren't skilled enough at the game. So what I would recommend doing, I know that sounded harsh, but that's just the reality of things. So basically, I would recommend at least getting to Genius in Ranked, before trying out for the L1, because at the start when I just tried out for L1, there was no way of me completing it. Like, some of the skills just weren't in my level. I know I'm playing terribly right now, but that's not the point. So, like, some things like the cut charges and some of the drifts at the very beginning were just incredibly hard for me to do. And I mean, I could have practiced them for like 36 hours, but like, why? That's just a huge waste of my time. So basically, I just stopped playing L1 for like a bunch, for like a few weeks, and then I grinded ranked, and then after a little while, I came back to L1, and just, like, so, it's really not a good idea to just grind L1 for 36 hours a day, because, like, at the end, maybe you'll get L1 after a few weeks, but you'd also, like, it's much more efficient to just grind ranked, and then learn the skills required for L1, because, I mean, you could watch YouTube videos on it and try to grind it. But first of all, L1, if you spend all your time grinding L1 and then play L1 speed races or L1 maps, you're just going to get clapped every direction. Like, you gotta actually develop the skills, and it's just insanely frustrating. Like, sometimes you just see no growth at all, and it's just like, why do I keep playing this game? And then you get frustrated, and it's just not great. So don't, like, I know you can look at all the YouTube tutorials you want, but in the end, it's just not a good idea to try L1 if you just can't do it. Like, the best idea is to just, if you, like, grind L1 for like 4 hours or like 3 or 4 hours, and if it looks like you're not getting any... Alright, so a good idea is to do L1 for around 1 hour or so, and then to see at a certain point how much time you have left. So I'm going to show you. So first of all, you do this. I use a different strategy to most people, because, I mean, I'm not grinding L1. I'm not trying really hard at L1 currently, as you can see with my failing to do stuff. But I'm going to show you a certain point, and that's a good gauge of if you're able to do the L1. So for a relatively good run, so just a run that you think is relatively good, by the time you get to, oh god, okay, it doesn't matter. So by the time you get to the start of like, just the end of the zigzag area. I mean, it's kind of hard to explain right now. The time you get to around this exit, you want to have around 1 minute and 4 seconds or 3 seconds or something like that left. I mean, I don't have that because I'm playing horrifically at the moment, but like, just, that's a good gauge of if you're capable, because if you can't get anywhere close to 1 minute 3 or 1 minute 4, there's no way you're going to get L1 in the near future. Like, you should practice other game modes before you do L1. Because today, I managed to grind L1 out in about 3 or 4 hours, and like, I know that's quite a long time, but people are telling me like, yeah, it'll take weeks for you to do L1. And I mean, yes, that is true if I decided to try and grind L1 from the day I start playing Kartrider Rush. But like, you don't have to do that. That's not necessary. Just practice the game, and when, like, a good scale is when you're at about genius level in ranked, then I would recommend starting to do the L1. Anyways, for those of you who are trying to do L1 at this very moment, I'll leave a few videos in the description that helped me do L1, but in the end, you shouldn't really rely on the YouTube tutorials, because in the end, when I was doing it, I, like, hardly looked at it. The only thing I really took was just, like, the amount of time they took to do certain parts. Because, like, in the end, everyone has a different sort of style when it comes to racing, and if you try and copy someone else's style, it's just not gonna work in the end. And, like, if you try to copy a YouTube tutorial too closely, first of all, they're probably gonna use techniques that you haven't even learnt yet, and secondly, it's just like, there's a really low chance of if you really need a YouTube tutorial to even get anywhere in L1, I wouldn't recommend doing the L1. I'd recommend it when you can basically do most of it just using your own tactics. So anyways, I'm going to make a more overview of L1 in the next video or another video in the future. This is just a little brief celebration because I got L1, woo!